My screen is visible. IT team, can you please suggest me or guide me?
So it was visible, sir.
My screen is shared, right? Can you see the screen?
Now it is not shared, sir.
Okay, now can you see the screen?
Yes, sir, very much. Now again we can't see your screen. Now I can see your screen.
Okay. So a very good evening to all of you on this very Sunday evening. And I believe all of you are keeping well. Okay. All right. So some technical thing had popped up. All right. So is it visible to you? Can you hear me? Navet, can you suggest?
Yes, sir, loud and clear.
So again, a very warm welcome to all of you. So who are joining us, who have already joined for this very exciting meetup. That is how data science is being used in medical and healthcare, right? So and I all believe that you all guys are keeping well, your families as well. And on this Sunday evening, again, a very warm welcome on behalf of Aegis and the entire fraternity for joining this session. And as you know, that the front screen and the of this meetup says that identifying lungs inflammation using machine learning and deep learning. We all have seen that because of the COVID, which has directly hitting to the lungs, if it's getting more devastating, so the results would be, so it is going towards your lungs. Or there are a lot of other complications that lungs infection may create in any human body. So in this meetup, we have with us Nida Parkar. So she is the professor at Aegis, and she is also a research scholar, thorough research scholar. Quick brief about Nida's profile. So we will get to hear from Nida that and there's an exciting demo as well, which you all get to know that how data science or ML or machine learning or deep learning algorithm can help in terms of defining or identifying that the inflammation that occurred in any lungs. So a quick brief about Nida's profile. So she has been almost more than a decade years of experience, comes from the computer science background, BTech and MTech from computer science background. She started her career from development only, software development, started from Infosys. And then she get into the academics part, and she's a thorough research professional. She at Aegis, she takes care of machine learning and Python part at Aegis. And she also mentored the candidates for various projects at Aegis, which are the real projects and in-class projects, consulting assignments as well. So all of the individuals, all of you who are, because today we have a whole set of audience who are the data science enthusiasts. There are individuals, I believe, in our team, in the group, what we have with us today on this virtual dais, there are individuals who wanted to make their career in that data science. There are individuals who are from mechanical background or maybe some electrical background, and they wanted to get into data science, but there is a question mark in their head all the time. And because whether a mechanical graduate or maybe a BCom graduate, there might be some graduates as well amongst us, right? So they might be thinking whether data science or AI or ML, whether it is for them or not. So we'll try to answer these questions as well. And this meetup revolves around the theme that data science in healthcare. So without making any further ado, so let me quickly set up the agenda for today's meetup and the talk. So we'll be having the demo of this particular session, like medical imaging for how machine learning and deep learning algorithm can identify the inflammation in your lungs. That would be a big time breakthrough for the doctors and the medical science as well. So we'll have the demonstration. We will talk about the idea and the motivation behind coming up with that kind of project. We'll know the challenges faced during the project. That this will also help those individuals who are working on these machine learning and deep learning algorithms, but they wanted to know and they got stuck up at somewhere. So we have the expert. You can ask your questions in between. So we know that how automation of data science tasks the future. What tools and technologies that companies they always look forward to. We'll try to explore the different dimensions of data science. What is AI? What is analytics? What is the scope of that data science and AI? And then at the end, if any individual they wanted to know more about how to get or how to take a plunge into that ocean of opportunity that we call it data science. So I'll take that quick takeaway session at the end of the day once we are done with the session. So this is a quick agenda for today's talk. Quick brief about Aegis, who we are, what we do. Most of the individuals, they have been a regular audience, I believe, who have been following some various social media platforms, YouTube platforms, because we create a buzz around before coming up with these sessions that we're conducting. Quick brief about Aegis for those who are new. So primarily at Aegis, we are an institution, and it is an autonomous college, just like your IIMs, XLRI, but we are not into management. We are into absolutely disruptive technologies. Right? You will hear that term, disruptive technologies, exponential technologies in that meetup as well. So we provide the master's program in those exponential technologies, that is data science, AI, machine learning, cybersecurity, cloud computing, and all cybersecurity and all those technologies. So we started our journey as an institution in the year 2002 because this was the same time when the disruption was started happening in telecom. Most of you who are coming from that era, they might have seen the transition. Who are new, born in 90s or maybe in 95 or early 2000, they might not be aware about. So it was the time when the basics phones becoming obsolete and new, the mobile phones, CDMA, GSM, your pager, that era has started developing. So that was the time when the future leaders were not adequate in terms of the technology. So we started off Asia's only master's program since then. And at that time, Sunil Bharti Mittal, the big show of Airtel, he supported IIT Delhi and Aegis Mumbai. So this is how the journey started off. And almost 7 years back, when IBM, you all must be aware about IBM. IBM, they are one of the leaders in that data science and big data. They are one of the company who started that big data revolution almost a decade back. They join hands with us. With IBM, we have established state-of-the-art IBM and Aegis data science, analytics, and cybersecurity labs in order to enhance the skills of the individuals who wanted to make their career shift or career transition into data science. And that time, we rolled out Asia's only master's program in data science. And also along with that, we are offering master's program in AI and cybersecurity as well. So we are a proud training partner. We are TSCC. We are an official score partner with GMAT, TSS, TOEFL, GRE, and CAT. Also, I just wanted to grab your attention on Data Science Congress. This is one of the state-of-the-art, one of the property that we have created. It's an event. It's a world's one of the largest event where all these top-notch data scientists, CXOs, CIOs, you name it, right? Across the globe, they gather together in Mumbai and they present their product demonstration. So it's one of the most mind-boggling sessions, and you will get a lot of videos around the innovations in data science and AI who are the career enthusiasts on our YouTube channel called Aegis TV. So this is one of the platform what we have created. Another point, Aegis Gramble Award. Most of you might be aware about, you must have heard that Aegis Gramble Award. This is Asia's one of the largest award in which we do reward the innovations which are coming up in different segments, you name it, be it IT, telecom, internet, media, entertainment, data science, AI, social, mobility, and we reward these innovations. All these startup companies, large scale organization, mid-size organization, you name it, right? We offer various programs with IBM, but we awarded IBM for their innovation. So that award is known Oscars in innovation globally. So these are it's a quick brief about Aegis. And also the secondary line of business, what at Aegis we are in, it's a consulting vertical under which we take various projects from small scale, large scale organization, data science and AI, and we provide the companies with the solution. Why I'm telling you all this? Because we are hiring as well. One of the interns we hire on pan-India and globally. If anybody would be after this session, I'll be taking some quick takeaway session in which if anybody wants it to apply for any internship and somebody would have these skills on these technologies, what we are talking in this session today, in another few minutes down the line, we'll start the session. So these individuals can get the benefit out of it. So these are the quick academia collaborations we had over the past couple of years. IBM, I already talked about. NVIDIA, most of you must be aware about NVIDIA. They are the world, one of the largest leader. They are into graphic cards and GPUs. All the gamers out there, they might be aware about, or the heavy graphical tasks, what they do. But over the last couple of years, NVIDIA, they have become the world largest leader in deep learning and AI. So NVIDIA, they also join hands with us. UBTech, you must be aware or not, they are into robotics and computer vision. It is one of the most, Asia is one of the largest robotics company. They join hands with us. If you come to our institution, you will find a lot of humanoids to whom we are training upon on various skills. Amazon, you all must be aware about. Amazon, they join hands with us with Amazon support. They have AWS, you must be aware about access to the candidate. A lot of thousands of dollars courses, reference material participants they will get, and the lab access individuals they will get on AWS. It's a quick brief about us. And these are the quick programs I talked about, which we offer in association with IBM. These are all master's program, postgraduate program in data science, business analytics, and big data on campus, and live interactive full-time program as well. We offer in that area. Postgraduate program in masters in cybersecurity we have also rolled out with IBM, and these are all full-time and live interactive, and core AI and machine learning programs we also do roll out. And soon we are going to start off with this full stack development program. It's a quick brief about it. I'll not eat much of your time. Once we are done with this session, talk about how do you enter into this field. If anybody would be interested, I'll take that session. Quick 4 to 5 minute session I'll take once we are done with the main session, which is all about how data science can be used in medical and healthcare for which we are gathered here. So without any further ado, may I please invite Nida. Already I have discussed your profile as well to the individuals. They are very well aware about your profile now. Nida, can you hear me? You are there?
Yes, sir, I'm on.
All right. So so you have the rights also, right? You can share your screen. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Good to have you on board, Nida.
Thank you for the brief introduction, sir. And good evening, everybody. Once again, a warm welcome to all of you for this session. I'll quickly share the screen. Let me know if my screen is visible or not. Is my screen visible? All clear?
Yes, very much. Yes.
All right, I'll take it from here, sir. Thank you so much.
Certainly.
All right. So once again, a warm welcome to all of you for this session. So I'll begin with sharing a small fact with you all. In the year 1895, a man took a picture of a hand, and this image was so mind-boggling that he received the Nobel Prize. And this image that he took changed the world. His name was William Röntgen, and what you see over here is the world's first ever medical image taken. Guys, this is the world's first X-ray image that you see over here. It may not look very impressive to you right now because we've seen much advanced version of it in the coming days, or we've already seen many X-ray images that we go through. But at that time, it was very impressive for the fact that that was the very first time you could look into a human body without cutting it open. So definitely, this was a great achievement at that time. And since then, medical imaging has changed the face of medicine. When I ask you today, how many of you have gone through an X-ray or a CT, whether to check for a fracture in the bone or to check for some congestions? What would be your answer for that? Yes, how many of you have gone through X-ray imaging? So,
Everyone.
everyone, yes. So, definitely each one of you would have gone through an X ray, or some of you might have gone some CTs or a mammogram test. So, definitely most of you would have gone through it. So, imaging, by using imaging in the field of medicine, a disease can be known even before a person starts getting symptoms for it, okay, or especially we are able to diagnose it very earlier now. That's very important. Suppose you're talking in the case of a cancer, the earlier you diagnose it, the earlier you're able, the more survival rate is of that particular person or the patient. So getting the imaging done and getting to know about the disease which is about to occur in the future is something very important. Today, the entire world is struck by the COVID pandemic. There has been, all of you are aware that the COVID symptoms are related to the lungs, okay? When the doctors tell you to get your X-ray or the CT done, what exactly do they look into it? They try and look some patterns that is called as, in the medical terms, it is called as your ground glass opacity, okay? And that is what the doctors look into it. If that is present in your X-ray, the doctors are able to tell whether your lung is infected or inflamed due to the COVID or not. So guys, this imaging is being used a lot of things, and especially in these times when COVID is all around, It's definitely used for checking if how much of infection is there in your lungs or how much infected it is. So the density of the lung is being checked. The doctors are going to check for the ground glass opacity, and that's how they get to know how much portion or what percentage of your lung is infected or not. Now, when I'm talking about imaging, how and why do we need AI or artificial intelligence or your machine learning models over here? So, when I'm talking about AI or ML in this scenario, in this field of medicine, you all know that the COVID situation is around for more than a year now. There is an entire burnout situation within the doctors. There are not enough people in the field of medicine, be it radiologists, compared to the number of people who are getting affected. It is seen that the field of medicine need more and more people, and the COVID pandemic has definitely punctuated this particular fact. When I say there is a burnout in the medical staff, be it doctors, radiologists, nurses, pharmacists, all those people who are associated in the field of medicine. So there's a complete burnout. So what can AI or what can artificial intelligence do in this field? It can help you get faster results. Okay, so AI can in the field of medicine, when where there are less people and less people in the field of medicine, not adequate doctors around to help you out, AI can definitely help the doctors. AI is definitely not here to replace the doctors. AI can be used in the field of medicine so that it can help doctors to diagnose the disease much faster, and so that the medication of the patients is started in much faster or sooner as possible. So, in the field of medicine, you can say AI, that is artificial intelligence or the machine learning models, can be used for three things. One is for the diagnosis of the disease, second is the prognosis of the disease, and third case, it can be used also for the treatment for the disease. Let me give you a small example. When we are considering a radiologist, okay, the radiologist has to do a lot of tasks. He has to talk to the patient, he has to perform these scans on the patient, he has to generate the report of the scan, he has to talk to the doctor for the final assessment. So where can we use AI when I'm talking about the series of work done by the radiologist? Where can we use artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence can be used here to detect the X-ray images. So using artificial images, you can detect the X-ray image, whether the particular pattern or the disease is found in the X-ray image or not. And that is only going to decrease the work of the radiologist, because if he is able to get the results faster, he will be able to save much of his time, which he's utilizing in the number of tasks that he is performing. So as seen, AI can give faster results. It's going to save the time of the doctor. It's going to be a helping hand for the medical field. So you can say AI models can be used if the patient's history is known. They can be used to predict what are the future problems that could arise for that particular patient. Uh, and it can definitely be helped in that particular scenario. So sometimes it may be a helping hand for the doctor, as in it can also help you to find out what particular diseases occur in what particular scenarios. So AI models can, they have an excellent ability to learn things, so they can learn and predict what kind of diseases can occur in what kind of scenarios, and all this information can be used in the field of medicine. So so here, what do you look here? So when I'm talking about an X-ray image, whether it is infected, whether the person's lungs are inflamed or not inflamed, or there is an infection present or not present, how exactly does it work? So suppose there is a chest X-ray given to you. So consider this whole in between part as the black box in which the machine learns. Okay, here all the learning part is done. You give the images as the input, and the output it gives you is whether the X-ray image is having the infection. That is, if it is having an infection, it will give a positive answer. Okay, that's a positive class. That means there is an infection present in that particular X-ray image. If it's not there, then it's going to give the output as a negative class. That is, there's no infection present. So this is where we can use our AI, artificial intelligence, and different models that we can use AI models So wherein we give in the input as a text, wherein the input here is an image and the output is the category. So the problem statement right now, which I'm talking about, is the input is a image that you see over here, and the output is the category, whether it's a yes or a no, whether the image, whether the X-ray image is infected or whether it is not infected. Now, this is one of the problem statements that can be dealt with using AI. AI can also deal with different problem statements wherein the input is a text and the output is a text. One good example that I would like to give you about is a Google Translator. A Google Translator is something that translates one language to another. So if you give as input as one of their language, if you give a statement in English, how are you? And if you want to find out the output in French, so it's going to give the exactly same statement, how are you? And it's going to give you the output in French. So this is an example wherein you're giving the input as a text and you're getting the output as a text itself. Another examples that I would like to talk about is suppose you're looking for some image on the Google. We all use Google all the time. So suppose you're using a Google to find certain image. You give the input as some text. Suppose you're looking for images of cars or something else. So you just type in their car and you look for images and Google will give you a lot of images. So this is an example wherein the input is a text but the output is a image. So likewise, we can have various categories that can be dealt using your AI models. So today I'll be specifically talking about the chest X-ray image to find if there is a lung inflammation. Inflammation, that means there's an infection present or not in the chest X-ray. So let me tell you how Facebook uses data science. Okay, so we've been talking about AI, data science. Now, you all get beautiful story from the video is comes out on Facebook, wherein it tells your 10th friend anniversary or your 10th anniversary on Facebook, which will give you the best of your photographs or best of your photographs with your friends or the most liked photographs or the most commented photograph or any text that you're sharing on the Facebook. It's going to sum up everything and it's going to present to you a beautiful video. So all that happens in the background is nothing but data science. Another thing, it uses text analysis for, so most of the posts that you write on your Facebook are in the form of textual. So data science uses some deep models to analyze what are the texts that you have written and try and get some meaningful insights from those tests. Another thing that it uses is for targeted advertisement. I want you to try out this, each one of you. So what you do, you go and search on Google for something which you have never searched before, and after that, log into your Facebook. Definitely add targeting what you had searched will be appearing on your Facebook page. For whatever you have searched in using the Google search, it will definitely appear. So that's how your Facebook uses it for for doing advertisement and targeting certain people. So definitely we're using Facebook all fast in our day-to-day life. So this is how Facebook uses data science in and when it is handling billions of users all across. So, how and where can today we are talking specifically about the X-ray image. So, in you have an image over here. Okay, so there's a center, Stanford. Basically, they have they have a center which is called as AMI. AMI stands for Artificial Intelligence in Medicine and Image. So at Stanford, they do a lot of research where basically the first research that they did was to see what is the age of the bone. They had some X-ray images of the person's hand and they wanted to find how old, what's the bone age of that particular X-ray. They were able to do it at much faster time using the AI models. Another research that they conducted, they had certain radiologists and they took up some X-ray images and they wanted to see the accuracy. They wanted to compare the accuracy of the radiologist, and this is this GXNet, what you see, GXNet that you read over here is nothing but that the AI model that they had used. So they had basically compared the efficiency of the radiologists together and the AI model that they use, and the AI model got a better accuracy as compared to the radiologist. Another interesting research that they did was They gave 400 images to the radiologists. Definitely, the number of radiologists were more, and they took around 3 to 4 hours to get the output for the X-rays done. Can you all guess how much time did the AI model took for working on 400 X-rays, where the radiologist took 3 to 4 hours of time? Can you all guess how much time did the AI model take? Anyone? Can you all guess the time the AI model would have taken? Anyone? 20 minutes, okay, in minute. So yes, you are definitely towards it. It just took a single minute, okay, to scan all those 400 X-ray images and give the output. 400 chest X-ray images to be very specific, okay. So when I'm telling that the model takes in the input as an image and it gives you the output, whether the pneumonia or whether the inflammation is there or not there, how exactly does this happen? Let's understand that. So before that, there are few AI medical imaging startups that use the AI imaging. The names that you see on the screen, these are all the startups that use imaging in the field of medicine. Now let's understand how the model understands the pattern or how it recognizes if the inflammation or if the pneumonial pattern is there or not there. So imagine image is given to you. Okay, this is the image. This is a gray image, as in there's no color in it. So computer doesn't understand the image as it is. The computer understands only the numbers. Okay, so this image is converted into numbers, what we call is at pixel values, and for the computer, the image would look something like this. What you see over here, that is that numbers. Now these numbers for the image lie between 0 to 255. So since there is right now it's a grayscale image, now depending on what the image is or how the image is, it's going to assign some different number to that particular image. Since this is a black and white image, the values would be your 0 to 255. Had it been a color image over here, this what we call is a two-dimensional matrix. Okay, so had it been a colored image over here, there would have been three matrices. One for the red color RGB, it uses the RGB color scheme, and for a colored image, it is basically three matrices that it sees. So what exactly is done? So basically, you are the example that we saw, the X-ray. It is a classification problem. So you give the image as the input, and you want to classify whether it's a positive X-ray, whether there is inflammation or there is not an inflammation. If there is an inflammation, you may predict that definitely the person is having COVID. If there is not, then that person is not having COVID at that particular moment. So suppose I give you an example wherein an image is given. This is how it looks to the computer, and then you want to classify whether this is an image of a Lincoln or Washington or Jefferson or Obama. So it gives output as the probability. As you see over, it gives values between 0 and 1. It gives the probability. So here the first value that we've got for Lincoln, it is giving the probability zero point 0.8, that means 80%. For Washington, it's giving 10%. For the other two, it's giving just 5%. So you're looking at the output, we can tell that this image that you have here is nothing but the image of Abraham Lincoln. Okay. This is exactly happens when we are using the AI models for the X-ray images. This is what you give as the input as the X-ray image. All the learning takes in between. This is where all the learning takes, okay? And then you get the output whether that X-ray image has inflammation and the person is COVID or non-COVID, or there is a pneumonia present in that X-ray or not. All right. Now let me explain you how exactly does this pattern manage. So when you're looking at this, what exactly happens here in between is it tries to match the pattern. This model has already studied the pattern. We make the model learn the pattern. It's going to learn the pattern, and then it's going to check whether that pattern is that in this particular image or not. And that's how it's going to give you the output, that if it is the lungs are inflamed, if there's an infection or not. Now imagine that this is the image that you have. Okay, it's represented in the in the form of numbers, and this is the pattern that you're trying to match on it. So what you're going to do, you're going to take up this pattern, you're going to match this over the entire image, just not somewhere in the image. You're going to do it over the entire image. How are you going to do this? First, you will match the pattern only on this part of the image. Then you're going to match the pattern on the second part of the image, then on the third part of the image. So pattern matching is happening over here. Sorry. Yeah. So your pattern matching is happening over the entire image, and that's how you get the entire output. So what is the output that you get over here specified? That means wherever the value is high, that means the pattern matching is more. That means it is matching more appropriately. If the value over here is low, that means the pattern matching is less. So that is what you get as the output. Now this is the entire thing that happens when you give in the X-ray image. It's going to extract the features and it's going to match the pattern. If there is a pattern matching, that's how it's going to tell you whether there is an infection or not an infection. So what we do over here, the entire thing is divided into two phases, that is training and testing. So what you do when you're about to train the model, this is the model that you have. You're about to train the model with a lot of images. Now the images should be of both categories, where the images are infected and X-ray images that are not infected. So you're going to train this model giving both the images. It is going to learn how the infected images look like, how the non-infected images look like, and then it's going to give you the output depending on whether it's infected or not. So this process, let me give you a small example. Suppose you have 1,000 or 10,000 images, okay? Suppose let's consider a smaller example. Suppose you are having 1,000 images. So out of those 1,000 images, 800 images or maybe 750 images you are going to use for training the model. You are going to train the model where it is going to learn that these are kind of images that you will receive. That means they are infected one. These are the images that you, if you receive, they are the non-infected. You're going to categorize them. You're going to label them infected, non-infected, and then you're going to feed it to the model. And next, what you'll do, the remaining 2,000 images that you've saved, you're going to test the model, because just training the model is not going to give you the best of the output. Whatever you're training your model on, you have to see that whether it's going to give you a good prediction or not on the images that you have not, that the model has not seen. And after this entire process of training and testing is done on the model, then suppose you have a new patient who is coming in and you want to check for that particular patient whether the image has got some infection or inflammation, and then that is how you're going to check it for. So let me elaborate the entire process once again using few examples. Suppose you want to classify if it's a bus, truck, car. So what you're going to do, you're going to feed the model. This is the entire AI model that is to be trained based on these. So you're going to feed all these images to the model. The model is going to learn whether it's a car, bus, depending on the images that you have fed, because you have labeled them. You have labeled it's a bus, it's a car, it's a bike, and that is how it's going to learn. Later on, once this part is done, then you're going to give few more images that the model has not seen, so that to see how it is predicting. So here, and then later on at the final stage, once you have done this train test combination, then you, for the final testing, what you give an entirely new image that the model has never seen before. Like it was not there in your, while you were training the model, it was not there while you were testing the model. This is a completely new image which the model has not seen, and that is where you will be able to see how good the model is performing. That means how good the model is able to predict whether it's whatever is the image. Suppose here it's a car. We are going to see how accurately the model is predicting whether it's a car or not. So generally, a good model will give you a good accuracy that is about 90 to 95%. Otherwise, it's not a very good model. So before I move forward, let me show you, just a second. Let me show you using the actual images that I'd used for training the model. Is my screen visible to you all? IT team?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Is my screen visible to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so as I told you, the entire thing we are going to divide into test and train. So these are the training images that are given to the model. Over here, I have already segregated the images as lung inflamed and lung not inflamed. So these are the images that were given to the model where the lung were inflamed and the model, this was given for the training part. Later on, during the training itself, the model was also fed with images that were not inflamed. So these are some of the images for lung not inflamed. So this was done for the training. So how the model runs? First you train the model, then you test the model, and then you test it for the unknown data. If you remember, I told you if you have 1,000 images, you're going to keep the first 800 images suppose for training, and then the next 200 you're going to test it on the model. So if you see a folder over here, test again. When you're testing the model, you're again going to give it into two categories, whether it's lung inflammation and not lung inflammation, and you're going to compare and see how well your model is performing. So again, here there are two categories, lung inflamed and not lung inflamed. Now comes the real test for your model, wherein there are some images over here which the model has never seen before. They were not a part of the training set, they were not a part of the test set. So here the model is going to predict on based on these three images whether there is a COVID. So this images, I'm already aware that this image is for the COVID, this is for the COVID, and this is where there is no inflammation. So we assume that the person is not suffering from COVID. So let me show you the model. Is the model visible to you all of you? IT team, is this page visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the model was trained based on the entire train test, whatever all the coding was done, and these were the three images that were given to the model, and based on what it had learned from the train and test, so it showed whether it is a positive or a negative here. So in this case, it was able to classify correctly whether the image had inflammation or it did not have. So if you remember the tested, the label that I had already shown you, these two were for the X-ray images that had lung inflammation, and this did not have the lung inflammation. So here the model was able to classify it properly. So this is how the entire process of the model learning goes. So let's continue with the presentation. Yes. So what the model did was, as I explained to you all, the pattern matching took place in the learning phase. It learned everything. Then in the second phase, all the pattern matching took place. And when you gave the new input to the image, it was able to classify to you whether it had the inflammation or not. All right. So how AI is going to transform the health professions. Not only for the radiologist, AI can be used for pathologists, the dermatologists, the ophthalmologists, cardiologists. It can be used in various fields of AI for your medicine. It can be used by different professionals, radiologists, pathologists, dermatologists, even oncologists, and various other kinds of doctor. They can use AI for examining. Suppose you have an image wherein the image is not very clearly visible, so you can use, there are filters, you can use AI models. Suppose you're having images of MRI and PET scan, so it's going to take in the input as an image and it is going to give you a better quality image. Sometimes the medical imaging are not very clear, so using the AI technique you can enhance the image to a level that all the patterns that you want to find in the image will be clearly visible, and using this enhancement the doctor will be able to find the patterns more appropriately. So again, why do we need use this? I remember when the COVID situation here in Bombay was at its peak. Uh, People, when they had to do the RT-PCR, there was a waiting time for them. For the labs were so overfull, so occupied that they were not able to give the reports of the patients until a week. So because of that, there was a lot of delay in starting the treatment for the patients, and due to which many suffered. So using the AI technology, using the machine learning models, it can definitely help in the field of medicine so that the results that we get are much faster and we can use them appropriately. Now, definitely, the the technology people and the domain expert have to work hand in hand to get the better results over here. So again, another use case there where we can use machine learning. So uh, cardiologists can use this smart ultrasound, or you can say smartphone ultrasound, wherein the device is connected to your smartphone, and using this device, they can check or they can scan the body. So you can actually look at, this is if they scan your heart, you can actually look at the chamber size of your heart, and also it gives you the presence of the blood vessels, and at the end, that this device that I showed you, it also gives the accurate, it also generates a result or report at the end of this, that the heart chamber size is so and so, the blood vessels are fine. So it gives you the entire report of what actually scans that you have gone through. Another interesting use case that I would like to talk about. Suppose you have a lump on your body, so where AI can be used in that. So generally, when we have a lump on the body, the doctor suggests us to go for biopsy to check if that particular lump is cancerous or not. So where AI can be used for this is basically AI, using AI systems or using AI models. You can actually scan, take a picture of that lump, and that since AI models have the ability to learn, they are going to learn using the different images of the lumps, and from the image scanning, they can tell you whether the image is cancerous, or whether the lump is cancerous or not. And depending on what we get as the output, you can go either for biopsy or not. So that is how, again, another use case where your AI models can be used. We as humans are amazing people where we can do a lot of tasks. Remember what people have said, adapt to new situations, identifying patterns in the data, communicate with the people. So all these tasks can also be done using artificial intelligence. So what exactly is artificial intelligence? It is basically AI develops the computer systems that can accomplish tasks that require human intelligence, because as a human you can perform a lot of tasks. So AI is something that is going to accomplish tasks that is going to require your human intelligence. Some of the advantages of uses of using your artificial intelligence is they learn from their mistakes. They have something called as repetitive learning. They learn from their mistakes. Repetitive learning is again very important part when we're using AI. They give good, accurate results. They give persistent results. They have the ability to interact with the humans. Can somebody give me an example of AI interacting with humans? Have you all come across any such intelligent device? Anyone? Which is a product of artificial intelligence. When I ask you, how can AI? Alexa, yes, I got one of the answers as Alexa. Definitely, your Alexa, your Google Assist, your Siri. So all these are your intelligent devices where they are able to interact with the humans. And when I say they are interacting with the humans, tell me, if I ask Alexa, Alexa, what's the temperature today? Is it going to give you, oh, let me play out some music for you? No, it's not going to give you that answer. It's going to give you a relevant answer to what you have asked it. If you've asked it, what's the temperature today? It's going to convert your speech. This is another use case that we talk about artificial intelligence, wherein it's taking in the human speech as an input. It's going to process it on what the human has asked the system, and then it's going to give you the feedback. It's going to say the temperature today is 25 or 30 or 35 degrees Celsius. Okay, so depending on what input you ask or what question you ask, it's going to give you the output. We all use Google in some way or the other to search some information. Now, Google is an excellent example of machine learning. The reason that Google or any such search engines are very useful and used by a lot of the people is because they do excellent use of machine learning. Whenever you scroll up, like go through some pages, it's going to remember which pages you're spending more time on or which pages you're spending less time on. that's it. That's way it's going to rank up the pages, like which pages people are liking more. So if you search for something, give me top institutes of data science. So it's going to give you the top institutes of data science, wherein it's going to, depending on what people have gone through the pages, which pages they have spent more time on. So it's going to analyze everything, and it's going to give you the best of the results. A few more applications of machine learning. Google search, we've already spoken about. Facebook, it uses your data for a lot of things, for analysis, for looking in, for targeting you for something. So beware when you're searching something and logging in Facebook the next time. Digital assets like Alexa, Siri, Google Assist. Okay. Website recommendations. All of us are very much aware of online shopping. So the moment we buy a product, we definitely get recommendation. So based on what product you're buying on a specific website, it's going to recommend you what other product. Netflix, or if you are, most of you would be aware of Netflix. It also uses machine learning. It uses Python. It uses deep learning to, again, uh, when it is handling its so many number of users, which are again in millions and billions. Okay, robot vacuum, self-driving cars, healthcare. We've already spoken. So all these are the applications that can be used where machine learning is used. Apart from this, one application that I would like to talk about machine learning. All of us use mail services, okay, maybe a Gmail or a Hotmail or a Yahoo, different mail services. So our email service provider does a very important task for us. Suppose we have an email which is not at all relevant or some advertisement email, it's going to put it that email in the spam. So what the email provider does for you is it's going to categorize your email. If it's a spam, that's a totally not important email, or it's a non-spam email. So this is an excellent example wherein machine learning is used to categorize your emails whether they are spam or not spam. Uh, Now, again, machine learning can be used in various other fields like transportation, oil and gas. Oil and gas is coming up, with multiple use cases of machine learning, wherein right from like looking at the minerals, then transportation, the way in they are working. So, lot of applications of ML are there which we use in our day-to-day lives. Okay, when about talking about deep learning or applications, okay, I know right now these terms, machine learning and deep learning, I'll definitely come to that. What exactly is machine learning? Exactly is deep learning? Lung inflammation were the example that we saw, wherein the X-ray image was coming as the input and the output was your whether to detect whether it's a COVID inflamed or not inflamed. So this is one of the applications of your deep learning. When an X-ray image goes as the input, the model learns the entire pattern of the image that you have provided, and based on that, it gives you the output. Lung cancer detection. Now, most of the time, lung cancer detection is not done at the early stage. So, using AI, the lung cancer detection can be done at an early stage, and definitely that patient can be provided with the right treatment at much earlier age. Google Brain is, you can say, a subpart of Google, which basically uses, which works specifically in the field of artificial intelligence and deep learning. So, using this, we've seen many applications of using images. So suppose you're having an image that is not a very good quality. So using the deep learning models, you can create better images that can give you a better insight of the medical image that you are looking at. Deep mimic is something which is used in the field of animation, movies. This is also one of the applications of your deep learning. Image outpinning is something like you have a part of the image, and using the deep learning model, it is going to complete the image. So that's so interesting. That can be used by different creative people, wherein an image is not known and you want to complete the entire image. So these are few of the applications of your deep learning models. Now, what exactly is artificial intelligence? How is it different from machine learning? And how is your deep learning different from your machine learning? So artificial intelligence, in short, is nothing but the ability of a machine to imitate your human behavior. So, wherein a machine is there, it is trying to imitate your human behavior, and that is what is your artificial intelligence. Machine learning is an application of your artificial intelligence wherein it allows you to learn the system. It allows you to learn and improve from experience. So it's going to take in, when we are talking about the X-ray images, it's going to take the input as the X-ray images, and it's going to learn the patterns, and the next time you're given more images, it's going to learn in more. So machine learning is something that it learns. The machine is learning on its own. You're not giving instructions to the machine at each and every time. That's the name machine learning, because the machine learns from its experience. Next is deep learning is an application of your machine learning. Now, why do we use deep learning? Wherein, suppose, as I told you, suppose you're working on 1,000 images, maybe you can work machine learning models. But when you're using huge amount of data, okay, when the data is very huge, that is where we need complex algorithms to work on the data. Now, those complex algorithms are there present in your deep learning models, where it uses the neural network. The deep learning is based on the artificial neural network. It uses neural network to learn all the patterns, and then it gives you the output. Now, when I spoke about data, like why do we need the deep learning models? That means when the data size is very high. When I'm talking about the data size very high, I'm not just talking about hundreds or thousands. Now the data size has gone to from million, billion, quadrillion, sextillion to septillion. We have to think what the next number would be, or I think they must be already working on it. So this is the huge amount of data that we have. So deep learning has come into existence because now they are dealing with huge amount of data, and when you have to deal with this huge amount of data, the machine learning models will give you a good accuracy till certain amount of data. Once the amount of data goes very high, so the machine learning model, this is the red curve that you see over here, is for a machine learning model. When the amount of data is very high, it's going to give you a good accuracy till some amount of data. After that, when it goes for a very high amount of data, it's not going to give you a very good accuracy. For these kind of high amount of data, be it images or any other kind of data, we need to use the deep learning model. Now, your deep learning models is based on your neural network. Okay, now when I say it uses the concept of artificial neural network, now ANN is based on your human brain. This is what a neuron looks like into your human brain. I'll not go to the biological description of it, but this is how a neuron looks like in your brain. Now, how many neurons do we have in our brain? It's not just hundreds or thousands, it's millions of neurons. What is the purpose of these neurons? To send signal. It will receive an input and it will give a output. So you can say transformation of information is nothing but the work of your neuron. Let me explain you this with a small example. Suppose a hot object is touched on your hand. Will it take like 5 to 10 minutes for you to determine that some very hot object is being touched on your body, on your hand, or will it be within fraction of seconds? What do you think? When a very hot object is touched on your body,
Microsecond.
fraction of seconds? Yeah,
Microsecond.
microseconds. That's how fast the neurons transmit the information. That's because uh, they pass the information so quickly that you realize that some hot object is touching your body. Okay, so this is how quickly. Now this entire your deep learning models is based on this concept of your neural networks, wherein suppose this is the image you're taking. As I told you, computer doesn't understand the image as it is. This gets converted to your pixels, that is zeros and ones, and this is given as the input to your deep learning models, and that's how whatever is the task to be done in this task, the entire model was run to convert a black and white image to a colored image. Sometimes you will give the input as an image and you will get different classification, whether it's like we did it in the case of x-ray scan, wherein it's going to take it the input as an x-ray image and it's going to give the output whether it's a inflamed or non-inflamed image. So this is how the entire model looks like. You give the images to the model, it's going to learn your the task is to classify whether it's a dog and a cat. You'll give the images of dogs and cat both to train the model. Once the model is trained, then you can give new images to test whether it's a dog and a cat, and it's going to classify it accordingly. So understand the difference when do we use deep learning models. That is when the data size is very huge, and that is what majority of the companies are having lots of data, so they all want to use AI. You must have seen a lot of graphs with the COVID situation around for more than a year. You must have seen a lot of graphs. So, what is data science? You've seen what is artificial intelligence, what are the machine learning models, what are the deep learning models. So, you can say data science is nothing but it's a multidisciplinary field where it is a combination of everything. When you have mathematics and the knowledge of computer, that's a programming language, you combine it together and you get the machine learning algorithms or the models. Okay, now these machine learning models have their basic as mathematics, statistics. So to understand the models, how exactly they work, implementation is easy, but to understand how exactly they work and in which scenario which model to apply, that's one of the tedious tasks. Another thing is, if you have a domain expert, now we've seen various use cases of machine learning, deep learning, artificial intelligence, how it can be used in healthcare, industries, Facebook, entertainment, digital marketing. So all these use cases are a lot. It is being used in a lot of cases. So when you have a domain expert and when you have the computer knowledge, that is what is your data processing. And when you have mathematics along with the domain expertise, that is what your statistical research. And the combination of everything is nothing but your data science. So data science is definitely a multidisciplinary field for extracting some meaningful information or insights from the data. That is what data science is. And for doing that, we can use different models, machine learning, deep learning, that depends on what kind of problem statement that you're working on. Last but not the least, I would like to end it saying that in the field of medicines, machines are not going to replace the physicians, but physicians using AI will soon replace those not using it. This is a quote by Antonio de Leva. So, with this quote, I would like to end this session on your machine learning, application of your machine learning and deep learning in the field of medicine. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Nida, for this wonderful session. And you have made it very, very, very much easier for those, I believe, who are at the verge of taking a plunge, as I mentioned earlier, and for the layman understanding as well. So the concepts of deep learning and AI or machine learning and in total data science. So now we can open for the questionnaire. So if anybody would have any questions, I can see that some of them they might have asked their questions on the chat box. As you can see that Labhan Shiv, I believe. He has asked that, ma'am, which language you used for your models that you have shown.
So
So
the
if you can
model,
ask.
yeah. So the model that I use, the language, the programming language that I've used here is Python programming language. And in deep learning also, you're having a lot of models. When specifically you're dealing with images in deep learning, I've used a deep learning model for this. So when it comes to deep learning and when you're dealing with images, you use something called as convolution neural network. There's a model which has a name that is convolution neural network. That is basically when you're dealing with images in the deep learning models. Yeah. So that is what I've used. The programming language is Python and the model is convolution neural network.
Uh, Great. So another question we can take that from Alvira Sheikh is asking that where we can find the data used in today's session and code. Okay.
Data is available. There's a website called as Kaggle. Okay, so in Kaggle, if you go and search, a lot of data regarding to not just images, but a lot of other things as well. Data regarding to some industry or all the data science related problem statements. You can just go through Kaggle.com and there you can definitely find the data. It also has a data set which are having a lot of images, even the images that I've taken that are from Kaggle. So I've downloaded the data set from the Kaggle. Yeah.
And also, if I would like to add on here, Nida, so there is
Yes,
a
sir.
even government of India, they are also providing a lot of data sets, which is available on their websites, government.gov.in. If they can go through that particular portal, they will get a lot of data. So not only the medical data, but a lot of data which is available, right? Which you can download and one can create the models out of that data. Okay, another question we can take that. Okay, you can also see the questions, I believe. So
Yes, sir.
It's 5 o'clock. Tushar is asking that coming from a non-medical background, how can one can acquire the medical domain knowledge?
That is something you'll need to figure out. Like you'll have to you can get the expertise in the field of data science by practicing it, but when it comes to medical domain knowledge, you'll have to work with the domain expert, because that is something you cannot learn on your own. You cannot just look at the image and say, when I spoke about these terms, that ground glass opacity, I also consulted few of the doctors to understand what exactly do they look into the x-ray scan. So to understand more in depth, you definitely have to work with the domain experts, because applying the data science knowledge over any domain without the domain expert is something that you cannot just do on your own. So definitely you'll for gaining the medical, you'll have to read about it a lot. That's what I can suggest you.
Certainly, great thought. And also, if suppose who's asked that question, Tushar. So Tushar or everyone who was listening and watching us. So if you just got to know the Manipal group of institutions, the largest number of hospital chain they have in the entire India. So you must be aware about. So they have the cognitive ability. So one of the doctors, because they have the capacity now where they can diagnose the cancer in the early stages. So they, even the expert who are coming from the AI background, they are sitting with the doctor, like Nida has very well mentioned that she has also consulted that. So even that medical field in the real time scenario, we have installed Watson, who is helping the doctors in terms of diagnosing whether somebody is the cancer is malignant or not, the cell is malignant or not. So all these imaging and everything, the domain expert is sitting with the individuals who are the technological expert, who have the expertise on AI and machine learning. So this is how the domain expertise you will get on any data, and you have to read a lot about that. You have to do your own research about that. Okay, so we can take another question. Deepa Atif, okay, Sabram is asking. So that is available, Deepa, and we are going live on YouTube as well. So that is entire session is available on YouTube as well. So you can very much have the access on that session. Sabram is asking, how far does nanotechnology help in the field of medicine? Nida.
Uh, to be very honest about the nanotechnology, I've not like much deep dive, not much knowledge about it. So I don't think I'll be able to comment on it right now about the nanotechnology. But yes, definitely in the field of like AI is definitely become not just in the field of medicine, in the field wherein you're using, IoT sensors. So even the smartwatches that you use, they give the entire like the history of, over the 1 week or 1 month, what have you been like, how much workout you've been done, how many calories you've lost. So it gives sums up everything for you and gives you the output. But to be for the nanotechnology, I am not much aware about it.
Okay, so now another question we can take from Varaha Kaushik. So he's asking, can we use any programming language in AI?
So for working on this, you can use two programming languages. That is, you can use Python and you can use R language. There's something called as R language. Mostly, Python is preferred as a programming language because you can say it's something that's very easy to learn. You because people coming in from different areas want to get into this domain, wherein they don't want to spend much time in learning a language. So Python is something that's very easy to learn. If you see the code of it, it's something you read it as good as in the English language, and you understand what exactly is your programming doing. So yes, the different choice of programming language is R, but the preferred choice by most of the programmers across this data science community is Python.
I believe this answers your question. Okay, so another individual you can take a question. So guys, please ask up the questions, ask more and more questions. Please come up. As I can see, a lot of questions are coming up. So we can take a questions from Labhan Shiv again, Jayant. So he's asking, he is continuing with the same statement that you might have given in the presentation, that as you have discussed, Nida, that AI can
Yeah,
easily.
I just read the question. Yeah. So as I told you,
Let me
definitely,
read it for those who are in YouTube as well.
yes.
So who are watching us that statement. So who are watching us on the other portals as well. So he's asking that, as we have discussed, AI can easily in less than a minute. So that can more than 400 X-rays. I know that this speed is really good and should be used in many ways. But he's asking directly. I mean, quite skeptical about the future, I believe. But don't you think that this will cause unemployment in various fields? This is what he wants to know.
So
Or
as
AI can replace human people.
yeah, so as I mentioned to you, these technologies will be used to enhance or get the results faster and not to replace. I ended up with a quote, the radiologist or the domain expert or the doctors, they are using these technologies, or they want to use up this technology so that a lot of time is being saved. As you can see in the pandemic also, where the humans, that is the doctors, there's a complete burnout of them. All of them are not able to use, are not able to handle all the patients, because the number of people getting detected with COVID is too high to deal with. So definitely this can be a helping hand. This can be used along with the domain experts so that they can use the faster results, and the doctor can focus more on the treatment part of it. Along with the AI, the accuracy can be increased. So definitely, I would not say that it's going to replace, or unemployment is going to cause, but you can say that definitely the doctors will have to use up the technologies in a better way, and to get the diagnosis done faster. That's all I would like to add to that.
So Jayant, I would like to add on because there was a time when the computer was evolving. So everyone was saying it was early 1995 in India. So everyone was again skeptical whether the computer will replace the thousands of the labor, the task force. But eventually what happened was, so individuals, there are a lot of fields that have emerged in computer science itself, in IT itself. So it's a data science, it's a domain which is seeding up. So for which the skills are required. So new skills is required, so new employment will be emerged. I believe in early 2010 or 11, nobody have heard of the data scientist term. It was evolved when the beautiful article, you might have all read that was published in HBR, Harvard Business Review. The data scientist is the sexiest job of 21st century. You might have heard that or read that article, I believe, which was written by DJ Patil and along his friend Jeff. So since then, the data scientist has picked up like a wildfire, and the new opportunities, the new skills, the new designations is emerging, right? So as long as the skills are evolving, the new job, the new capacities, the new evolvement will be in the job, will be there. So you have to be absolutely on your toes, ready to acquire these skills, which is new, which will certainly help you. And new jobs and new employment will be coming up in every field. So Madhumita is asking another question. So is there difference? She has asked me the direct question, I believe. So let me recite that question. So is there difference in programming we do for AI and what we study at our basic? So is there any tip to develop our programming skills to be used particularly? So what she's asking. So let me summarize. So she's asking, she must be a graduate or maybe a fresher, I believe. So whatever she's studying in her graduation level, whether that is suffice or she might have studied something else in terms of getting into data science or particularly in AI. This is what she's wanted to ask. Yeah. Nida.
Yeah. So definitely programming is a very important part when you want to get into a data scientist job, because all the models that you will be working on will be requiring your programming. As I told you, you'll have to start from the basic, be it a Python or a R, whatever you're comfortable with. You'll have to start with the basic, and so again, these programming languages have a lot of things. A Python programming can be used for web development. It can be used for software development, and there is a part of the programming language which will be needed for your data scientist. So you have to focus on that part of the programming language where it will be, which will be used for you as a data scientist, and not which you'll be using for web development or some software development. So yes, you'll have to start from the scratch. If you're new to the programming, you will have to definitely study programming, mathematics, statistics. Everything is very important when you want to get into the field of data science.
Okay. Okay. Another question Aditya is asking, what is the package? I mean, in which context he's asking, I could not understand.
No idea. Yeah.
Package in terms of, Aditya, could you please be specific or maybe elaborate that what you want to ask? Package in the sense, these salaries that would be given to the individuals who acquire these skills, is that what you want to ask? Or maybe any packages in Python or these packages you're talking? Okay, anybody would have any questions? Yes. So anybody, if somebody would have any questions, please feel free to ask. So I believe we have answered most of the questions, and the kind of the way you have taken the entire presentation, that was so, for everyone. I mean, for a novice to from a beginner to a expert level as well. So thank you so much for sparing time with us and sharing the knowledge to the individuals. And Okay, so now if anybody would be, as I mentioned to you earlier in the beginning of the session, that if anybody wanted to get to know that how to enter into that field, or maybe what are the ways that could be, because as I mentioned to you that we are hiring as well. So please be there with me for another 5-10 minutes. I'll be giving you a quick touch up on how to enter into that particular program. Thank you so much, Nida, for this wonderful session. And
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
yeah, so let me quickly share my screen. Uh, all right. I think, is it visible? IT team, can you please tell me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, so till now, I believe you might have got an idea about what is data science, what is AI, what is machine learning, what are different algorithms as well. What are the ways? If anybody would have opened their, you know, speaker on their laptop or somewhere, please, I suggest or request you to please stop it. I mean, please mute it, because otherwise it creates a disruption. It's good. Thank you so much, guys. So now the point is, how do you enter into this field? So now, till now, you might have got an idea that data science or AI or machine learning in particular, what is the thin line difference between these terms? What kind of algorithms would be required? Today's session was more particular it was a used case in machine learning. I mean, in healthcare, how data science or AI or ML is being used in healthcare segments. So now, if you wanted to get into that data science, what are the ways? Right. So number one, so as I mentioned earlier, we are hiring research scholars, and there are a lot of internships opportunities at Aegis for those who have acquired some skills, who are working on these models, maybe in machine learning or Python, somebody who have worked upon, somebody who have created the models on that. You can directly reach out to us at cmc@aegis.edu.in, or you can reach out to me, ritin.j@aegis.edu.in. We'll evaluate your profile and we'll ask you, because we are hiring. Another point, if anybody wanted to get into these data science or AI, these exponential technology skills, if you wanted to upgrade these skills, there are ways that you need to acquire if you wanted to get into higher studies. So there are a lot of programs. One of the best programs we have come across the globe, that is MS, offered by in data science, offered by NYU, one of the very good program we have come across. Another program you can look forward to, that, as I explained to you earlier in the beginning, that we also offer various master's program in data science and AI. These are more particular programs, very specific programs in data science, AI, and machine learning. So this is one program which is on-campus model. In postgraduate program in data science, business analytics, and big data, you can look forward to. This is the eligibility criteria. I'll put my cursor right there. Individuals should have a bachelor degree. BTech graduates, BSc graduates, MTech graduates, master's graduates, graduates who have done their mathematics graduates, statistics graduates, BBA background individuals, management background individuals, commerce graduates, any individual, because data science is something which is an interdisciplinary field one can look forward to. So, but one should have a graduation completed. It's an 11-month program completely. And the next batch, we're starting in the month of August 9th. So the campus is in Mumbai and Bangalore. Considering this pandemic situation, we are coming up with this live interactive full-time program. The entire duration of this program again is 11 months, and after 11 months of complete training, there will be excellent placements and internship would be given. Somebody would have asked about the placements packages. I believe his intention was to know that. I'll quickly tell you that in coming slides. So same modules in live interactive as well. Only difference is there is no physical classroom training session. It's a live interactive way. The way you and me, we are having this session today, this is how the classes will be held. And the process to get enrolled for the program, one should have their graduation completed again. Let me remember you that's that point, that the graduation should be completed. So the process would be, it's a very stringent process. One has to fill the online application. Once we receive the application, your aptitude test would be scheduled and followed by the interview. And in any case the candidates get through and shortlisted, we give the admission offer. This is the certification participants they will get once they complete that program, which is jointly being offered and delivered by IBM and Aegis, which is globally accepted as a master's. Those who wanted to, who are already working in that AI machine learning, who wanted to be very focused on getting into robotics or computer vision, driverless cars, who are already having a very core coding background, who are already coming from deep learning or AI background, they can get into that postgraduate program in applied AI, machine learning, and deep learning. This is more focused and more advanced program. But in earlier program I talked about, it is this, on that program we start everything from the scratch to advanced level. So both models are available, live interactive and full time. 9th of August is the start date. This is the certification participants that they will get. So for those who are working, one should have and do not want to get into a full-time program, because for a full-time program, one has to leave the job. So we have the executive models available because we have a lot of working professionals who are attending the session. So one should have minimum 1 year of experience, and they can look forward to these program, which is executive, weekend, on campus, and live interactive mode of delivery, what we are offering. So these are the quick highlights about the program. Program will be taught by the best of the brains, the best of the faculties and industry experts. There are a lot of IBM specific modules which will be delivered by the IBM experts. They come and they will do the handholding. It's a globally acceptable as a master's program, which is globally accepted. Major USP of the program is the real projects. Real project means you would be working upon the real project with the real-time data, which will give you a hands-on exposure and make you expert, and the companies, they show interest in terms of hiring you. The participants, they will get the exposure on IBM and AWS labs, for which participants they use it on the fly, on the go, and these labs are being used to work upon your real life project. The curriculum what we have in this program, once you go and check on the program details, you will find that the curriculum what we have got, this is the most comprehensive and state-of-the-art curriculum, which is industry-led curriculum, which all the companies, they are looking forward to currently. Education loan is available. So and individuals who successfully completed the process, who have get the offer letter in this program, there are almost every bank they provide the education loan. Whatever lecture we deliver, like the LMS system, state-of-the-art learning management system, what we have got. So whatever lecture we deliver, we record and upload that session to our learning management system, and that will be available for the participants anytime, so that you can revive your sessions in point of time. Career Management Center works like icing on a cake, guys. There's somebody who are asking about the placements. So certainly after 11 months, there will be excellent placements and internship would be offered. Most of you are freshers, I believe, who are going to complete their program this 2021, I presume. And so for the placements at Aegis, we have a dedicated Career Management Center. Placements wise, if I talk about the statistics, average package for the freshers, any stream, whether you're a mechanical, IT, electrical, or a computer science graduate, commerce graduate, average packages at Aegis, it goes 8.5 to 9.5 lakhs. And maximum for the freshers goes from 13 to 14.5 lakhs per annum, freshers I'm talking. And when it comes to the experienced candidate, individuals, depending upon the past experiences, what they have got, 50 to 500% hike, typically the companies, they provide to the candidates. It's a quick brief about the program. So these are the companies, you name it, almost every major company, every company, they do come and they hire the candidates. Even the last pandemic year, we have around more than 85 plus companies have come for the placement, because there are recruitment. Somebody was asking and what quite dicey about the future, how the future would be. So no need to worry. If you are prepared enough, then the companies are also ready to hire you. So companies will run after you. I mean, if you have the right technology and the right skill sets. So these are the major companies who always do come and recruit the candidates. These are the quick highlights. Minimum package, as I mentioned, for the fresher, 6.5 starts from. Average packages from 8.5 to 9.5. And freshers, highest package, it goes 13 to 14.5 lakhs. So this is a quick brief about, and we are all among the institution, including your IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Bangalore, ISI Kolkata, who always do come up with day zero placements. Day zero means the maximum number of companies, they come in day zero and they pick up the candidate. That was the statistic for the last year. When there was no pandemic, I mean, in the month of January, February, because since after that, the companies, they're coming in a live interactive way. They are hiring through Zoom and other platform meetings. So that was a time when in day zero, we have 37 plus, I remember, companies have come and 75 plus offers has been given. So typically one candidate has got 3 to 4 job offers or more in their hand. So this is how the statistics of the placement goes like. So also I would suggest to you, like I mentioned, that we are going live in our YouTube channel called Aegis TV. There are tons of sessions available from the experts on different segments and different industries. Altogether, the tech giants, the chief data scientists, they are coming and they do deliver the session. So you will get a lot of material in our Aegis TV. And I would suggest to you that you can subscribe to that channel and hit the bell icon. So I sound like one YouTuber, but the reason I'm telling you, because this will keep you alive. And anytime we are live, you will get the notification. If it's feasible for you, you can very much join the sessions anytime, anywhere, wherever you are. So subscribe yourself, and there are a lot of mind-boggling sessions that you will get on data science, AI, machine learning, cybersecurity, whatnot. Also, subscribe yourself on datasciencegyan.com. This is a page what we have got in Facebook. You can also subscribe our page, that is Aegis School of Data Science, because we keep coming a pre-notification you will get for these sessions we are coming up today. And also coming weeks, we are coming up with these such sessions, which will be certainly helpful for those individuals who are looking forward to get more information about these disruptive technologies. This is something which I would like to give you as a takeaway. You can take a snapshot of the screen. So Deloitte, KPMGs are our knowledge partner. With them, we are working upon we have published various white papers with them. So you can download these white paper, which will give you a kind of just about where we are moving, where data science is heading to. So I'll take a pause on the slide. You can take a snapshot. You can just write it on your Google and you will get, and you can download these white paper, which we have already published with Deloitte and KPMG. Another white paper that we have published, which is with one of the largest data science consulting company called vPhrase. You can download that white paper. This will also give you an insight about the solution and the challenges to improve the understanding of the data. So this is a quick takeaway from my end. If you would have any questions, so you can reach out to me. I'll share my coordinates as well over chat box to you. So, and thank you so much, Nida, for this wonderful session. And still we have 48 individuals who are watching us, and and there are YouTube as well. Individuals are watching us from our YouTube channel as well. So thank you so much for taking time on this Sunday evening and for your patient listening. And thank you so much, Nida, for this wonderful session. I believe that had certainly helped all the individuals, the knowledge seekers, the data science enthusiasts who wanted to make their career transition into data science and AI or these disruptive technologies. Thank you so much, guys. Have a happy weekend. Thank you so much, and take good care of yourself and your family as well. Thank you.